Hello viewers, today the topic that I've taken for discussion is Anthem for Doomed Youth. Anthem for Doomed Youth is a poem written in 1917 by Wilfred Owen. Wilfred Owen is one of the most influential writers of 20th century, and he has written many poems. Anthem for Doomed Youth is one of the most influential poem written by him, which brings to life the mental trauma of war. Let's turn our focus into stanza number 1. What passing bells for these who die as cattle? Only the monstrous anger of the guns, only the stuttering rifles' rapid rattle can patter out their hasty horizons. No mockeries now for them, no prayer nor bells, nor any voice of mourning save the choirs, the shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells, and beagles calling them for them from sad shires. As we look at the first stanza, it's very clear that the world has witnessed one of the horrible picture of the World War. Owen begins with a bitter tone as he asks rhetorically, what passing bells of mourning will sound for those soldiers who die like cattle in an undignified way? Because they are not granted the rituals and rights of good Christian civilians back home. They don't get real prayers, only rifle fire. Their only chorus are of shells and beagles. The first set of imagery is violent, featuring weapons and the harsh noises of war. According to Wilfred Owen, the organized religion cannot offer much consolation to those dying on the front. They read the poem right from the beginning to the end. The poem foregrounds the wastefulness of war. The reader gets a sense of the way war hollows out society. The second stanza says, what candles may be held to spare them all, not in the hands of boys, but in their eyes shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pall, their flowers the tenderness of patient minds, at each slow dusk a drawing down of blinds. In the second stanza, the poem slows down and becomes more sorrowful. The poet says that the young men will not have candles. The only light they will get will be the reflections in their fellow soldiers' eyes. They must have substitutions for their coffin covers, their flowers, and their slow dusk. The poem has a note of finality, of lingering sadness, and an inability to avoid the reality of death and grief. So, it's very clear that the second stanza, the poet focuses on the devastation of war on the family members. The pallor of girls' pale faces on their brows will be the cover for the pall of the deceased soldiers, because it reflects that the soldiers are not only affected by war, but the family members also get affected by it. And then the poem also evokes the death of innocence on the faces of soldiers, whose flowers the tenderness of patient minds wait for the uncertain death in the battlefield. So, the two stanzas of the poem reflects Wilfred Owen's loss of faith, as he shows how inadequate religion and faith are when faced with the reality of the trenches. The poem refers to aspects of religious ceremony, such as bells and choirs. It also refers to funeral practices, such as including candles and flowers in the church service. So the anthem for doomed youth is a lament for the deaths of the young soldiers who died in the war. It highlights the reality of life in the trenches. The poet shows that such a death to be bleak and harsh. So the use of imagery and sound effects emphasizes noises such as the gun and shell fire, and the pitiful call of the beagles lamenting the loss of the soldiers back home. So we picture the chaotic deaths of young frightened men and the pain of those left behind. Thank you.